Why are we all just human SpongeBob absorbing society? Hello everyone. Today we are going to explore one of the most interesting concepts in sociology, that is socialization. Now, before you zone out thinking this to be dry, let me ask you this. Why are you the way you are? No, seriously. Why do you act the way you do? Why do you like certain things, dress a certain way, or talk in a certain manner? The answer is simple. You have been socialized. Yes, you are basically like a sponge, soaking up everything around you, just like a SpongeBob. But more human. Now, what is socialization? Let's start with some basics. Socialization is the process where through which we learn the norms, values, and behaviors appropriate for our society. That's the reason why you're polite to your grandmother but crack jokes with your friends. It is why you know not to pick your nose in public. Well, most of us know that. For example, from the moment you were born, your family started teaching you things. You didn't come into the world knowing how to eat with a spoon or how to say please and thank you. That was all learnt. That is socialized into you by parents, teachers, and even TV shows. I will talk about agents of socialization. These are the people, groups, and institutions responsible for making you who you are today. Think of them as your own personal brainwashing crew. They are not sinisters, but actually they are constantly shaping you. For example, your family, your first ever teachers, they teach you how to walk, talk, and not to throw food at others. Well, most of the time. Then comes schools. These guys teach you the important stuff like how to raise your hand before speaking, and that there are way too many subjects to remember. Then come peers, your friends. They teach you the slang, the latest trends, and more importantly, how to sneak out of the class without getting caught. Isn't it? Then comes media, Instagram, movies, YouTube. They show you what's cool, what's in, and what absolutely needs to be shared with all your followers. For example, think about TikTok. Why is everybody doing the same dance challenges or mimicking the same memes? It's because the media is such a powerful agent of socialization that you see something online enough times and you are going to do it. Nature versus nurture. Let's address the age old question: is who you are based on your DNA, or did your environment make you the way you are? You have probably heard this debate in your psychology classes, but here's the deal. Sociologists lean heavily towards nurture part. For example, you weren't born knowing how to cheer for the cricket team, right? Your love for India's cricket team or your obsession was wasn't hard coded into your DNA. You learned that from the environment you grew up in. If you would have been raised in Brazil, maybe you would have been a samba dancer cheering for Nemia team instead. Correct. So, while your genes gave you those eyes and hair, your socialization made you into a cricket fanatic you are today. Now, what happens when you're thrown into a completely different environment, like starting a new school, or moving into another city, or joining the army? This is where the concept of re socialization comes in. It's like rebooting your social software to adopt new norms and values. For example, let's say You have lived in a small village whole your life, and suddenly you move to a big city like Mumbai. Suddenly you are overwhelmed, looking with new things. People don't talk to strangers as much, even everyone is rushing somewhere. And oh boy, where are the cows on the road? You would have to learn a whole new set of behaviors to fit in it. That's called resocialization. Now we'll discuss the hidden curriculum. Let's talk about schools for a minute. They just don't teach you maths, science, or how to calculate compound interest that you will probably never use. But there's also a thing called the hidden curriculum, the stuff that you are learning even without realizing it. For example, you are in school. You are not just learning how to read textbooks, but you are also learning the uh, some qualities like punctuality, even if you are always late, discipline, isn't it? By the time you graduate, you have been socialized into how to act in a structured society without even noticing it. Now we'll talk about total institutions. Now, some places are so intense with their socialization that they completely break you down and rebuild you. These are called total institutions. Places like prisons, military camps, or even boarding schools. Here's your old self gets wiped away and you're taught an entirely new way of living. Imagine walking into a military camp. One day you are probably thinking, what have I gotten myself into? They take away your individuality, your clothes, your hair, your phone, and you are suddenly just one of the group. You are re socialized to follow strict rules, obey orders, and march in a line. You come out a completely different person, more stronger, more disciplined, and maybe a little more cautious about authority figures. Now we'll talk about gender socialization. Why blue for boys and pink for girls? Ah, gender socialization is the process by which we learn society's expectations about how boys and girls should behave. From the moment we are born, we are wrapped in blue or pink blankets and the socialization begins. Boys are given cars and superheroes, and girls get dolls and makeup sets. But is that really how it has to be? For example, think back when you were little. Did you ever get told boys don't cry or girls should be more polite? Those were society's way of telling you how to properly behave based on your gender. But these rules are entirely socially constructed, meaning they change depending upon where you are and when you live. In some cultures, pink was once a boy color. Now, why socialization is considered a secret sauce of the society? At the end of the day, socialization is what holds society together. Without it, there would be chaos. We would have no shared value, no common understanding of how to behave, and everyone would just be doing on their own, which honestly sounds a little terrifying, isn't it? Imagine a world where no one was socialized. You would have people walking into restaurants and sitting on table instead of chairs, or trying to eat their food with their hands instead of spoons and forks. Socialization teaches you how to fit into the larger puzzle that is society. So we can all function together without driving each other crazy. Now, to wrap things up, remember you are not just born in the society but you are made by it. Socialization is the process that turns you from a blank slate to a person you are today. And the best part is, it's a lifelong process. You are still learning, adapting, and absorbing new things every day. So go out there, be a sponge, absorb the world around you, laugh at strange things you have been taught, and maybe even challenge a few of them along the way. After all, that's what makes sociology fun, questioning why we are the way we are. Thank you, and remember, you are a product of your environment, so make sure your environment is a good one. I hope you all enjoyed the lecture. Thank you so much.
Dear students, please like this video, share this video and subscribe to my channel. Please don't forget to press the bell icon so that you can get the notifications of my videos regularly. Thank you.